Hello again, everybody. Gary Ferman and Matt Shodell here. And today we are talking about what has to happen for the Miami Hurricanes to get to 10 victories this season. Matt, I'll tell you what has to happen. A miracle has to happen. When you take a look at the recent history, the fact that Miami has won 10 games only once in the last 19 football seasons, that tells you right there what kind of odds that Mario Cristobal and his staff are facing as they move forward here in 2023. But this is July. Training camp opens the beginning of August, about a month away from this morning. And it's a time to dream. It's a time to fantasize. It's a time to remember what the Miami Hurricanes once were. So talk to me, you great soothsayer, Matt Shodell, and tell me what you think has to happen for the Miami Hurricanes to get to 10 victories this season.
I've been watching this show, not to advertise for Apple TV. Maybe they'll make me a sponsor, but it's called The Silo. And essentially it's about 10,000 people that live in a silo in the future, which is probably inevitable. We're all going to live in a silo at some point. And they have no knowledge of the past history of the world. They don't know there's an outside. They don't even know there's, such a thing as a beach or a bird or anything like that. They just live in this bubble. And I just feel like, Miami Hurricanes fans sort of have been trapped in this bubble. They're still in the bubble. And it's really hard to break out. You can dream of what's outside the bubble. You can become an Alabama fan, I guess. I don't recommend that. But what I'm trying to say is
they don't have a quarterback. They may not get to 10 wins this year themselves.
All right, forget Alabama. So it was a joke. Don't become an Alabama fan. But what I was trying to say was every preseason, there's always reason for hope. Fans want to believe. Every year for the last 19 years, they want to believe. They want to believe that the offense is going to be tremendously different. They want to believe that a defense that really has no top cornerbacks, one decent defensive tackle, really good defensive tackle in my opinion, but he's got to just apply himself, maybe one decent linebacker, that defense is going to be able to stop the better offenses, the 5 or 6 teams that have really good offenses that Miami's facing. They want to believe that Tyler Van Dyke will stay healthy. They want to believe that Xavier Restrepo will have 100 catches when he's done nothing to this point, but people think he's going to be great. He might be. They want to believe Tyler Harrell, with his 4.24 second speed, can break out and have 1,000 yards when his best season so far in 4 years of college football is 500 and something yards with Louisville. They want to believe that the running game will be led by Mark Fletcher, who's going to look like freshman Frank Gore. They want to believe the tight end room is one of the best in the nation when nobody in that room has had more than 200 yards receiving in a season. And they're relying on a 8th-year guy who's constantly had injuries to be a top blocker. They want to believe that 2 freshman offensive tackles can be immediately among the best tackles in the ACC. I mean, you can believe it all. When I say it out loud, does it sound realistic, or does it sound like I'm the sheriff of the silo and I'm telling you the party line for what we can believe and what we can't believe? Because when you say it out loud, it sounds like a 7 or 8 win season. So can they get to 10 wins? Of course. Florida State and Clemson, their rosters are way better than Miami's. I don't see Miami winning those games, but the other games aren't unwinnable. There's no great teams out there besides those 2, in my opinion. You look at Texas A&M; they had a losing record last year. North Carolina wasn't real good last year. Those are probably the next 2 toughest teams Miami faces on this roster. So yeah, they can get to 10 wins, but let's not pretend that outside of the silo everything's great and we can open the door and everybody can be extricated into the real world, because we're not quite there yet. I think we'll be in the real world in a couple of years. But right now we're still in those poisonous gas masks if we try to go outside, and like we're going to just collapse into the ground after we do a cleaning.
Well, I said a miracle, and the one season that Miami was able to get to 10 was 2017, and that was a damn miracle. Let's be honest. I mean, it all caught up to them at the end of the year with the 3 straight losses, but you think back to that game in Tallahassee where Malik Rozier hits Darrell Langham for the touchdown on the final play. Then they come back a week later and it goes down to the wire again against Georgia Tech, and they make the miracle play to win again 2 weeks in a row. So yeah, it took a little bit of a miracle against those teams in 2017. But quite frankly, if you looked at just about every team in college football that wins 10 games, they are going to get some breaks along the way. I mean, there are going to be, in a typical season, there's going to be 5 or 6 games that are going to go down deep into the fourth quarter where a play here or a play there is going to determine the outcome. So I expect this year to be the same, Matt. You went through the whole laundry list of things that has to happen for the team to be good. I don't disagree with anything you said, which is I know it's
miracle.
It's a shock. It's like somebody takes, makes you soaking wet and takes an electrical cord and, sticks it up, some opening in your body and your whole body lights up, gets electrified. I know that's what it feels like. I know that was a bad analogy.
What opening in your body are you planning on sticking an electrical cord in?
Come up with here on live TV at the moment. But no. So yeah, I know. Not the greatest moment in the history of these shows, but no, in all seriousness, yes, there are a lot of things that are going to happen that seem improbable as we sit here in August. And but that said, I think some of them can happen. I mean, I do expect the 2021 Tyler Van Dyke to resurface this year. He's got a better offensive line. He's got the best running back room that Miami's had in a while. A lot of depth in there, a lot of competition in there. The receiver unit, while it does not have an elite number one receiver, and we'll be talking about that on one of the days moving forward, because that is, to me, a very pertinent issue for this football team. It does have a lot of good players and a lot of guys capable of making plays in spots in a scheme that will be put on the field by Shannon Dawson that is designed very well to get guys in open space to make plays and pack up yards. And it should be, from a statistical standpoint, a much better offense this year. Defensively, a lot has to happen. Okay, you start at defensive tackle. I mean, Leonard Taylor's got to show up more than once every 10 plays. Let's be honest. Branson Dean has got to be the force that they are hoping he will be. You could go on and on at defensive tackle. There's nothing that's proven at defensive tackle. Defensive ends is a little bit of a rosier outlook. You're counting on Messidor to take even another step from last year. You're hoping Nigel E. Kelly makes some progression. Everyone acknowledges that he could be a great player. You hope you start to see it here in year 2. You do have depth of the guys like Jafari Harvey that are experienced, that can provide depth. It's not hopeless. Linebacker, you're hoping that Francisco Mayagoa can step up and be what everyone's hoping he would be. But like Matt says, nothing proven there. The cornerback position is full of competition. We'll see if anybody steps up there, but nothing proven once again. And Miami safeties, James Williams and Cam Kinchens, have to prove that they are worthy of all the hype they are getting. People are calling them one of the best safety tandems in the country. I am not sure we saw that in 2021 to justify these type of accolades before the games even begin in this season. I would like to see this team beat somebody first before people start getting anointed. But that's what people are saying around the country. They're going to have to prove it. So there's all kinds of what ifs and questions, no doubt about it. I say it will take a miracle for this team to get to 10 wins. I truly feel that way. I think that the bar that has been set by Vegas at 7.5 is about in the right spot. But miracles can happen, and we all can dream. And maybe the Canes will surprise us and get to 10. Matt, your closing thoughts.
I mean, the only thing I'm optimistic about is you are usually wrong. So the fact that you're saying they won't get to 10 wins makes me think they probably will.
All right. Fair enough. We'll end it at that. So that's our look at the prospects of Miami getting to 10 wins this season. You can see what our entire CaneSport staff thinks about this issue this morning on our website. For Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We'll see you next time, everybody.